You indicated after the Missouri win that you felt like you were in, that the work was done. But if you don't win the first round of the SEC tournament, are you confident you're in, or do you still think there's more work to do?
I think you still got to win games. Because the one thing I told our guys, I think when you look at body of work, and you can probably take 20 teams, you say bubble teams, whatever, Tennessee is just as good, if not better. When you talk about the opponents we play, the games we won, where we played teams at, the schedule. So I feel good about this standpoint. But like I told our guys, let's not leave this in anybody's hands. I mean, the best way to be sure about it is do what you need to do.
What do you think you need to do?
Continue to win ball games. It's the most important thing.
Cuonzo, do you use Ole Miss last year as a motivating factor, or is it bygone?
That's in the win. That's in the win. So, I just go back to the game. You lose ball games. I don't get consumed with a lot of things that don't really have control of what's going on today. Now, as a staff, we talk about it, but I don't go to the players, man. If we did this, that game, no, I don't. Sometimes players have a short-term memory. They only remember their good things. But we talk about it. We watch film on it. For us, the most important thing when you have a setting like this, you're not sure the first opponent because you don't know who will win the game. It's more about how Tennessee plays the game, playing with a level of passion, competing out the gates. Because sometimes it's not a great thing to sit out there first, get the other team, get familiar with the rim and the setting. I mean, I've seen it both ways. We just got to get out the gates aggressive. That's the most important thing.
You've done conference tournaments as player, assistant coach,
yes.
Coach, and here. Is there any adjustments to how you approach anything? Did you learn anything from last year in terms of just the preparation and getting ready for that?
Just being in them, you got to have fresh legs. Like right now, we got to find another guy off the bench. You got to give us production. And I think that guy's DeMontre. We got to get DeMontre in. I think he's got to be the next guy for us because he has the ability, skill, and the makeup. We need another set of legs out there. But as far as anything I've learned from the past, no, because this time I'm one of those guys. You got to have fresh legs. You can't go out there trying to practice an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It's a long time, and you get bogged down, especially with our key guys. They got to play major minutes for us.
Why do you feel that you're not fresh enough that you need a guy like an extra guy like DeMontre to step in?
Well, I think when you're trying to go 4 days. You're trying to go 4 days. I think he's right there as far as earning those minutes. And I think he can help us because he's a guy that can make a shot. He's an offensive threat. He's a guy that can rebound. And I think he's right there as far as getting those minutes.
So I don't remember the SEC tournament in recent years being where there was like 4 teams in the last 4 and last 4.
Yeah.
Does that make it more interesting?
I think so, but I said it. Maybe I said a week or so ago. 6 teams in. Everybody laughed at me. Going down the wire. I mean, I believe that. I mean, when you said body work 68 teams. I said 6 teams. We'll see.
The way the league's been this year, I mean, some of the other coaches are saying that it's going to be wide open, crazy. You kind of expect it to be, there's really no favorite in this tournament.
I think so. I mean, obviously the favorite is Florida, the #1 seed. They have the parts. But it's anybody's game at the end of the day. Anytime you're in settings like this, unless you have an elite team where it's just tough to beat them, when you're in settings like this, making your free throws, getting a couple baskets here and there, not turning the ball over, anything can happen.
Do you get the sense that there are potential for what will be essentially playing games to the NCAA tournament, basically unfolding in Nashville, namely if you and Alabama face off in the quarters?
Could be. It could be. I just think for us is, but you're talking about 2 different resumes when you look at the body of work. That's an easy way out to say, well, whichever team loses. Then that means you're not looking at the body of work. You're just looking at the game, and I don't think that's fair to either team.
Given how your team's thriving on atmosphere here, how important is it for Middle Tennessee fans to come out to Nashville as well?
I think it's great. We need all the support we can get. Our guys will put on a good show. Anytime you go 8 out of the last 9 games, that means we need to support these guys, especially the way they're playing, the way they're competing, the proximity or the location where we're playing at. We need them now.
When you got this job, did you anticipate what it could be like? And did you think that they could crank it up like they did on Saturday? I mean, did you know that?
You know, when I
How
watched
big of a
Tennessee
deal
on
is that?
TV, I saw it from afar, and I saw the energy of the fans, and I thought that was great. I just think that helps programs, especially when you're trying to build it to a level. And obviously, when you get it to a level, then you're consistent, and amazing things can happen when you're trying to build it to a certain level. To have fan support out the gates, it really helps you. It really helps in recruiting. And sometimes I don't know if the fans give themselves credit or really think or know the impact they have when they attend games like that. I mean, because that's a tremendous atmosphere. You get guys committed to your program on atmospheres like that. So it really helps out a lot.
Coach, how much good do you think it does? I mean, you guys have played some seriously pressure-packed games. I mean, at Florida here, Kentucky here, Missouri this past weekend, they're all described as must-win. I mean, going to the tournament, they're all like that. I mean, do you think they've been in those kind of scenarios, you think that will translate? I mean, and what do you think makes your team just being able to rise to the occasion?
I think that there's a balance. Because I think with most players, you want that stage. You want to play on that stage, but the balance is you can't go on there like you're pressing. Like, man, we got to have this win. And that's why I told our guys that down the stretch, we were struggling as a team, man, just one at a time. Let's walk through each game one at a time. And all of a sudden, we started to reel them off. And that's the only thing you can control. And for us, it's one game at a time. Let's do everything in our power to win this first game. And whatever happens, happens. We're not going into a game and say, okay, we're going to save legs, play this guy. We're doing everything in our power to win the first game. Whatever's presented to us, we're blessed to win the first one, move on to the next one.
Between the three teams we're looking at, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Alabama, how do you handle the three scouts going into one game?
I know Coach Webster has South Carolina. He's watching them. Coach Harris has Alabama, and I think Coach Williams has Mississippi State. I mean, but that's how it was during the season. So those guys just pick up where they left off. So they'll watch them. I'll just watch. I'll watch a game of South Carolina. I'll watch the game we played against Mississippi State, both games. Then after that, we'll spend a lot of time that we'll watch the actual game live, and then at night we'll watch film on them.
Sorry, given that you don't know who you'll get on Thursday, do you touch on Alabama before?
Not at all. Not at all. Alabama's a talented team. Alabama's a team, when you have that caliber talent, they're not coming in with any surprise. They might have one or two new players, but they're not coming with a 1-3-1 all. And, I mean, you're all who you are at this point. So for us, the most important thing is South Carolina, Mississippi State, and we go from there.